Welcome to the Homeworld Cataclysm tutorial. This tutorial is divided into 12 lessons. Each lesson has objectives listed in the bottom left corner. As in the regular single-player game, clicking on these will provide you with detailed information about an objective. If at any time you need more information on how to complete a lesson objective, clicking the objective listing will give you instructions. If you are familiar with Homeworld and know how to complete an objective without explanation, you can do so. You can even skip the objective altogether, though a refresher never hurts. You can proceed to the next lesson at any time by clicking the button labeled Next Lesson. You can restart a lesson or go back to a previous lesson by clicking the button labeled Restart Lesson. Pressing the backspace key will skip from one speech event to the next. For this tutorial, it is best if your key configuration is set to the game's default. If you have altered your key bindings in the options screen prior to beginning the tutorial, you can reset them by pressing Escape. This will bring up the game menu. From there, you can access the key configuration settings by clicking the Options button. Good. The objective for Lesson 1 is now complete. Click the Next Lesson button to move on to Lesson 2. This lesson deals with controlling the camera in Cataclysm. Click an objective to continue with the lesson. The lesson is now complete. Click the Next Lesson button when you are ready to move on. This lesson deals with selecting ships. When you issue a command, it is issued to all of the ships currently selected. Click an objective to continue with the lesson.
Command.
Just tell me where to go.
Receiving. Roger, Command.
Recon, ready to go. Let me at 'em. Just say the word. Recon, ready to go. Just tell me where to go.
The lesson is now complete. Click the Next Lesson button when you are ready to move on.
Roger, Command. Going into docking pattern. Returning to hangar. Underway. Moving out. Ready. Ready. Roger, Command. Coordinates locked in.
This lesson covers focusing the camera in Cataclysm. Click an objective to continue with the lesson.
Just say the word.
The lesson is now complete. Click the Next Lesson button when you are ready to move on. This lesson covers the Sensors Manager, which is a broad tactical overview of the mission area, and gives an introduction to the right-click menu. This is the Sensors Manager. All of the commands you can issue from the main view, such as selecting, attacking, or moving, can also be issued here within the Sensors Manager. These commands will be discussed later. You can still click and hold the right mouse button to change your view, and click and hold both mouse buttons, or the mouse wheel if you have it, to zoom in and out while the Sensors Manager is active. While you can move your view however you like, a top-down view is often the best overview of your fleet in Sensors Manager. This is your command ship. All ships appearing in the Sensors Manager are color-coded. Your ships appear in green. Hostile ships are red. Friendly ships, such as Allied ships, ships manned by other kith, or Taidan Republican ships, appear as blue. Asteroids appear as brown dots. This is a ping. Pings only show up in Sensors Manager and are used to point out important items like significant ships or areas of space. Let's have a look at the Sensors Manager's subfunctions. The blue area denotes the range for your active sensors. Active sensors only give useful readings relatively close to the ships of the fleet. Enemy ships can only be spotted within active sensor range. Friendly ships can be seen beyond this range as they are sending you their location coordinates. The light-colored framework is a display of the approximate range for passive sensors. As you move ships around, this framework will change accordingly to show what areas have been explored. The passive sensors record the position of resources within their scan range, but passive sensors use such a weak signal that you cannot see if an explored area has changed until a ship is sent through the area again. These are weak sensor returns from beyond passive sensor range. You can use these returns as a landmark of sorts to help visualize the position of your fleet in an area of space. These weak returns are often good indications of where to look for resources. The lesson is now complete. Click the Next Lesson button
Roger,
when you are
command.
ready to move on. This lesson deals with moving ships and setting up patrol paths using waypoints. Click an objective to continue with the lesson. If you have ships selected, you can activate the right-click menu and select Move from the menu. Alternately,
Receiving.
you can access the Movement Manager by pressing the M key. Activate the Movement Manager now. This is the Movement Manager. It will be locked open for the time being in order to demonstrate its usage. You can still click and hold the right mouse button to change your view, and click and hold both mouse buttons, or the mouse wheel if you have it, to zoom in and out, even while the Movement Manager is active. This is often handy when trying to place the destination point in a particular area. This is a good angle to use when in the Movement Manager. It gives you a very clear picture of where everything is in three-dimensional space. Tell the ships to move by placing the pointer where you want to go. To move ships vertically, hold the Shift key while moving the pointer. When the Movement Manager is open, ships in view will have an orange line drawn from them which indicates their position up or down in relation to the pie plate of the Movement Manager. These lines are also drawn for pings while moving in Sensors Manager. If you move the pointer to the base of a height line, then hold down Shift to adjust the pointer's height, you can use the height line as a guide to help you move the pointer to a specific position relative to another ship. Once you have the pointer where you would like your ships to go, and you are ready to have them move out, click the left mouse button. The lockdown on Movement Manager is now released, and you can move your ships.
Underway, 2 coordinates now.
Waypoints are a series of points in space which make up a path for a ship to move along. As an example, you can use waypoints to set up patrol paths, define a search pattern, or to move your ships around and away from large enemy forces. Go into the right-click menu and select Start Waypoints. This is the Waypoint Manager. It works exactly the same as the Movement Manager, only every time you left-click a specific point, the manager will mark the point and remain open so you can add new points to your waypoint path. There are 3 types of waypoint paths. Linear waypoint mode will direct the ships to follow the waypoints and wait at the end. End-to-end waypoint mode will instruct the ships to follow the waypoint path to the end, turn around, and follow the waypoints back again. The ships will continue to follow the path like this until they are instructed otherwise. Circular waypoint mode will instruct the ships to follow the waypoints. Then, when they reach the final waypoint, to head back to the first point and start following the path again, making a closed patrol loop. The ships will continue to follow this path until they are given other orders. These modes can be set by opening the right-click menu, selecting the heading Start Waypoints, and then selecting the waypoint mode you want from the subheadings. Once you have created the waypoint pattern you want, pressing the W key will close the Waypoint Manager and set the selected ships along that path.
Coordinates locked in.
Bridge.
Ready.
The lesson is now complete. Click the Next Lesson button when you are ready to move on. This band selects some ships to continue. Click and hold the left mouse button and then drag the pointer across one or more ships to select them.
Roger.
When you have combat vessels selected and you move your mouse over enemy ships, you will see the pointer change. This new pointer icon means the ship is an enemy target. By left-clicking on it, you will be ordering your selected ships to attack.
Target acquired. Moving to attack.
The lesson is now complete. Drag the pointer across one or more ships to select them.
Receiving.
You can also hold the Control key, click and hold the left mouse button, and drag a bandbox around 2 or more enemy ships to attack multiple targets. This can be done in the main game view as well as within the Sensors Manager.
Target locked in.
This lesson covers how to build ships. Ship construction is done in the Build Manager. You can access the Build Manager either through the View options in the right-click menu or by pressing B. Activate the Build Manager now. Start by selecting Worker from the Build menu. Clicking on any ship from the list will highlight it as the ship you'd like to build. By continuing to click the ship you have selected, you will increase the number of that type of ship you'd like to build. You can also set the number of ships you wish to build by clicking the increase arrow. The decrease arrow will obviously set a lower number if you want to change the number of ships to build, or you can repeatedly right-click on the ship you have selected. When you are ready to build, you can start construction by pressing the Build button. This gauge indicates your support unit usage. The maximum size of a fleet is measured by support units. Different ships have different support unit requirements. An Acolyte, for instance, requires fewer support units than a larger ship, such as a dreadnought. As you increase the number of ships to build, the gauge reflects the number of support units you have remaining. You can increase your total support units by researching and building support modules. You can pause or cancel building at any time by selecting ships being built and pressing the pause or cancel buttons. You can resume paused builds by pressing the pause button again. Highlighting a ship from the list and clicking the info button turns on or off useful statistics and information about that ship. All of your command critical functions are tied into one another. You can move from the Build Manager to the Research and Systems Managers and back again through these buttons here.
Research underway. Research completed.
ACV is now available for construction.
Construction underway.
Worker ready. Drive's on full.
The lesson is now complete. Click the Next Lesson button when you are ready to move on.
Worker ready. Moving out.
Bridge.
This lesson covers the 3 important functions of a worker: harvesting resources, repairing ships, and salvaging.
Our attack.
These 3 special abilities are good examples of context-sensitive actions. By learning how to use the worker's special abilities, you will learn how to use those of the other ships in your fleet. Note that the workers you have here in the tutorial are already upgraded with repair and salvaging technologies. Outside of this tutorial, in order to use these abilities, the appropriate technology must be researched, and workers must then be properly upgraded. Researching and upgrading will be covered later. Click an objective to continue with the lesson.
Worker here.
This is an example of a special action. When the mouse cursor changes from an arrow to an icon,
Yeah?
this indicates a special
Repairs
action
underway.
is available. The action can then be triggered by clicking the right mouse button. For instance, when the mouse pointer is moved over an asteroid while workers are selected, the cursor will turn into a shovel, indicating that clicking the right mouse button will issue a harvest command. If there is no special action available, right-clicking will bring up the right-click menu. Another way to perform special actions is to hold down the Z key, then left-click and drag the mouse pointer across the ships or items that you wish to affect. When workers are upgraded with repair technology, you can select them and then right-click on a damaged ship to repair it. In addition to using workers, ships can be repaired automatically when they are docked.
Worker ready.
Select the workers you want to salvage with. Sometimes a larger salvage item will require several workers. Salvaging the ion cannon frigate requires 2. In order to salvage a ship, the ship must be brought down below 50% health. You can tell when a ship is sufficiently damaged when flames begin to vent from its hull. The ion cannon frigate is adequately damaged and is ready to be salvaged. Right-click on the ship or item you want to salvage, and the worker will begin salvaging.
Salvaging. Worker here.
Enemy vessel now under fleet control.
Worker ready. Leave this to the pros.
Roger, Command.
By harvesting, you acquire resource units, or RUs, which are used to build ships and modules. To direct workers to harvest, select your workers, then move the mouse pointer over an asteroid or other resource and click the right mouse button. Alternately, you can select Harvest from the right-click menu, or press the H key. The workers will then automatically harvest any resources that your sensors have revealed.
Harvest.
The lesson is now complete. Click the next lesson button when you are ready to move on. This lesson covers advanced topics in attacking, such as how to put a selection of ships into formation and how to set tactics. Click an objective to continue with the lesson. To set ships into a formation, select the ships you wish to set, then select Formations from the right-click menu and select the desired formation. In this case, set the formation to Delta.
Let me at 'em.
Roger, Command.
Delta, formation set.
Going to high alert now.
A ship's tactics determine how it will react in a combat situation. When set to aggressive tactics, a ship will actively pursue and attack any enemy it encounters. When set to neutral tactics, a ship will passively defend itself, but will not perform any other actions without orders. When set to evasive tactics, a ship will flee any enemy it encounters. To set a ship's tactics, select one or more ships, select Tactics from the right-click menu, and then select the desired tactics setting. In this case, set tactics to Aggressive. To set ships into a formation, select the ships you wish to set, then select Formations from the right-click menu, and select the desired formation. In this case, set the formation to Delta. You can issue the guard command from anywhere, including the Sensors Manager. Select the escort ships you intend to guard with, then hold the G key and bandbox select the ships you want the escort ships to guard. The escort ships will then move to protect the ship they're guarding.
Ready.
Escorts assigned.
You can assign ships to a hotkey group for easy selection later. To do this, select the ships you want to group. Then, press Ctrl and a number from 1 to 9. This will be the number of the group. You can quickly select all the ships in this group at any time by pressing whatever number you assign to the group.
Roger, Command.
Setting assigned Group 1.
Recon, ready to go.
Setting assigned Group 1. Stand by Group 1.
Receiving.
Setting assigned Group 1.
Just tell me where to go.
Stand by Group 1.
Roger, Command.
Just say the word.
Roger, Command.
Adding.
The lesson is now complete. Click the next lesson button when you are ready to move on. Link technology research has been completed. Any new acolytes you build will have this technology. As well, you can now upgrade previously built acolytes. You can activate the Research Manager from the right-click menu by selecting the heading View
Receiving.
and the subheading Research Manager. Alternately, you can access the Research Manager by pressing the R key. Activate the Research Manager now. Notice the blinking yellow dot next to the ship's condition bar. This is an indicator that a ship has upgrades available. Larger ships, like the command ship, can have their crews execute upgrades in the field. In the case of small ships, they need to dock for upgrades. This is done via the upgrade command in the right-click menu. This command, like the yellow indicator dot, will only appear when there are technologies available for upgrades.
Going into docking pattern.
Command.
Select your upgraded acolytes,
Roger,
and
Command.
from the right-click menu, select the heading Special Actions, and then the subheading Link.
Preparing to dock.
The lesson is now complete. Click the Next Lesson button
Receiving.
when you are ready to move on. The tactical overlay
Bridge.
shows ship types, paths, and other useful information. To turn the tactical overlay on or off, choose View and the subheading Tactical Overlay from the right-click menu. The tactical overlay shows ship types, paths, and other useful information. To turn the tactical overlay on or off, choose View and the subheading Tactical Overlay from the right-click menu. To turn the pilot's eye view on or off, use the right-click
Let me
menu,
at 'em.
and from under the heading View, choose the subheading Pilot View. To turn the pilot's eye view on or off, use the right-click menu, and from under the heading View, choose the subheading Pilot View. To retire a ship, choose Retire from the right-click menu. Retiring ships frees up support units and also returns a small amount of resource units to your RU total.
Recon, ready to go.
Return ship and stand down.
I'll be there before you blink.
If you are worried about your ship being captured, or you need the support units, you can order a ship to scuttle itself. To order a self-destruct or scuttle of a ship, select the ship and hit the Shift plus the S keys. The ship will then ask for confirmation. If you then hit the Shift plus the S keys again quickly, it will self-destruct. Confirmation is required to prevent the accidental destruction of your ships.
Just tell me where to go.
Abandon ship.
They want...
In single-player missions, you can use time
Bridge.
compression to
This
speed
is
things
command.
up. With time compression on, the world moves by at 8 times the speed. This is useful in cases such as at the end of a mission while harvesting remaining resources. You can turn time compression on or off by pressing the / key. This is the end of the Homeworld Cataclysm tutorial. All of the topics covered here are also explained in greater detail in the manual, along with helpful quick keys and other useful information. Click the quit button
Resources
to
dropped
exit.
off.